War Rogers News Channel. Thank you for watching. Alright, let's go ahead and watch the Marowak's Doubles Club. It has a bit of a Patrick feel to it. Anyways, Blue Breath vs Sweet Tea for you. And on a minor note, I asked Start Ear to fix the battle GUI, so you should see my slogan at the bottom of all those competitive messages like leftover recovery and so on and so forth. Alright, so we'll be right back, and good luck to all the semis contestants. One quick note before I spectate this match. I have a GUI that's going to be unused, and I would feel terrible keeping it from the public, so I've decided to dump it, and you can check it out in a link in the description below. And I thank Start Ear for the first GUI, but like I said, it's going to go unused if no one downloads it other than myself. So I hope you all enjoy my original Kingdra GUI. Alright, so we are at the first turn, and like I said, Start Ear has fixed the battle GUI so that side my slogan can be readable. Alright, and I thank her so much for taking the time out of her day to fix that. Alright, and without further ado, let's go ahead and see what's going to happen in this match. Man, I'm talking a little bit too fast. Sometimes I get a little tongue-tied. Alright, so Heracross is shiny, so since it's shiny, then there is no type weaknesses listed on shiny Heracross. Alright, now one of the weaknesses is fire, and Blaziken's a fire type. I don't know if Blaziken is going to do a heat wave here. I'm seriously thinking that a heat wave may be plausible. And Metagross and Heracross, I think, are going to switch into two Pokemon that can probably withstand a heat wave. And if it's not resistant to it, at least it can wall it off pretty good. Maybe even Pokemon with the ability Thick Fat. Alright, Metagross is going to switch into Blastoise. Alright. And Gyarados. I kind of knew that Sweet Tea for you would switch into two Pokemon that can resist Heat Wave. I mean, Blaziken there just screams Heat Wave. But Gyarados had a toll to pay. See, Gyarados was burned. And that means that Gyarados now has its attack stat cut by 50%. That's a lot of attack stat being cut. So Gyarados is going to suffer with the burn. Blastoise... Blastoise might stay if it has HP Electric, but I probably doubt that. And I'm going to assume that this Blastoise is a Follow Me Blastoise. And I'm going to assume that Blaziken's going to switch out, and Vaporeon's probably going to do an HP Electric. Gyarados, since there's no real point to having Gyarados out there, since its attack stat is cut by 50, I seriously think that Gyarados is going to switch. Yeah, there we go. Gyarados is going to switch into Heracross. Blastoise is probably going to do... Oh, Icy Wind. Alright. And Venusaur avoided the attack. That would have been useful for Sweet Tea for you if Icy Wind hit Venusaur. There's the Muddy Water, which is going to lower down the accuracy by -1 on Heracross. And it's going to lower down the accuracy... Oh, no. No, it's not going to lower down the accuracy of Blastoise? Okay. There is a high chance of lost accuracy, and sometimes sometimes people can get a little lucky with the muddy water by not having an accuracy drop. Alright, so Venusaur is going to do a protect. Blastoise is going to try to do a fake out, but it's going to fail. And Heracross is going to do a Mega Horn, which is going to hit a Vaporeon really, really hard. Alright. Vaporeon is going to do an Icy Wind, which is going to lower down the speed of both Heracross and Blastoise by -1. Now, Blastoise has Icy Wind, and technically, all 4 Pokemon are kind of not really parred out, but it's almost as if there is no stat drop, because all 4 of these Pokemon have a -1 speed. So, well, let's see what's going to happen from here. If I had to guess, Blastoise is probably going to do a Icy Wind to make up with the lost speed. I don't know why Gyarados came in, maybe for the Intimidate, but Venusaur is not even offensive. I mean, okay, maybe Gyarados is going to try to gain some attack stat with the Dragon Dance, but I really doubt that Gyarados can really do significant damage, even with a burn. And Blastoise is gonna faint here. It's not looking good for Sweet Tea for you so far. The match could change in due time. Okay. I'm going to guess that Metagross is probably going to come in. The reason why I say Metagross is because, well, Meteor Mash on the Gengar. And Venusaur, I mean, HP Fire, yeah, it can kind of do a bit of some damage, but it's not going to be severe. I mean, it's just going to be probably a 2-hit KO. Alright. I guess Sweet Tea for you didn't want to take the chance. So he pulled in a Manectric. A classic style in doubles. Manectric Gyarados. And the Lightning Rod. Let's see. What health is Gyarados? 51.5%? Oh. Like I said, Gyarados' attack is cut by -50%. So, yeah. Gyarados has a lot to make up for. Manectric is going to try to knock out Gengar, and I'm assuming that Gyarados was predicting a switch, but the switch didn't come. And Manectric has fainted. Alright. So let's see. Who's gonna pop into the match? Who's gonna save the match from being a disaster? I think it's gonna be Metagross. I think Metagross is gonna try to save this match. I don't think Metagross's efforts will be successful, but only time can tell at this point. Or Heracross. I almost forgot about Heracross. Now, Gengar could faint Heracross, since Heracross serves as kind of a threat, because Heracross is the only Pokemon that has not been burned yet. So, Gyarados is going to kill off Gengar, even with -50% attack. That's still good enough to cause significant amount of damage. It does not look good for Sweet Tea for you. Blue Breath, so far, he has a lot of flexibility here. I mean, he still has Blaziken, Vaporeon, and keep in mind, both Heracross and Heracross and Metagross have one common weakness, That's Heat Wave. Guess what Blaziken wants to do if Heracross is going to switch or not. Heat Wave. That's going to do a significant amount of damage. Heracross has to knock out someone. Probably Venusaur, but that's just my guess. I'm gonna also take a guess that Salamence is probably going to do a Dragon Claw, possibly, because of Stab or Protect. So Heracross is going to faint here. Yeah, the match looks kind of pitiful for Sweet Tea for you. Metagross is going to come in. Blaziken is going to continually do the Heat Wave. And Venusaur could just do an HP Fire. We don't know yet. I'm going to assume that Venusaur is probably going to set up a Leech Seed on one of those guys. Alright, so Metagross. Ooh, nice. So, there's the Meteor Mash. So, Salamence is going to try to do a Dragon Dance here. Salamence is trying to grab the match here. Venusaur is going to go directly for the Sludge Bomb, which is going to be a critical. And the Stratus Berry did recover the damage. Alright. So I'm going to guess that Metagross is gonna faint. Because Metagross is Blue Breath's top priority right now. Alright. I'm going to guess a Heat Wave, and also because, you know, so Salamence does have a chance to, or not Salamence, sorry, Blaziken could have a chance to burn, but now Sweet Tea for You is taking his match back. But Metagross's health is a little bit concerning. I mean, the path looks pretty rough for Sweet Tea for You. He's gonna have to deal with Blue Breath having one more Pokemon that's unknown right now. Sweet Tea for You's party is known right now. I'm going to guess that Salamence is probably going to do a Dragon Claw on Vaporeon, because Sweet Tea for You is probably going to guess that there's probably an Ice Beam involved. Salamence is going to go directly for the Earthquake, which is going to be super effective for Metagross. Metagross forgot to Protect. I don't know why. And Rock Slide is going to hit, which is going to prove fatal. And Blue Breath has won the match. GG. Alright. Now let's go ahead and go to the finals match. Alright. Blue Breath vs whoever wins this match. So, we will be right back. Alright. We are at turn 1. We are back for the finals match. Exploits vs Blue Breath. And yes, I sound like the announcer from Pokemon Stadium. Alright. So Typhlosion is going to switch into Vaporeon. There we go. I was about to say the wrong Pokemon, and I stopped myself. Alright. The Water Absorb, and Vaporeon was blocked from the Ice Beam, thanks to Salamance's Protect. Alright. I'm going to guess that Salamence is either gonna switch. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he'll stay around. I think he'll switch because of Vaporeon's Ice Beam. Stop myself again. All right. So Salamence is going to switch into Venusaur. And the Leech Seed, which my Milotic actually protected itself. Alright. Venusaur avoided the attack. Alright. I'm going to guess that... There we go, I want to get my cursor out of the way. Alright. Because I'm a little bit OCD about that. Anyways, back to the match. I'm going to guess that Venusaur... Venusaur is going to do a Sludge Bomb. It's going to be super effective against Ludicolo. Ludicolo is poisoned, and Blue Breath has issued an Ice Beam, which means that the Vaporeon's speed is going to lower down. Alright? And Ludicolo's speed is going to lower down as well. And my Milotic has to suffer with the Life Orb. Ludicolo is going to try to make contact with the Venusaur via Ice Beam, and Vaporeon's going to also try to make contact with the Venusaur via Ice Beam. I'm going to guess that Venusaur is probably going to issue a Sludge Bomb, which I assume that Exploits is probably going to switch out of Ludicolo predicting the Sludge Bomb. Or if he wants to see his Ludicolo not live a hit, he'll just keep Ludicolo there. Yeah. I seriously think that... Man, my headset's a little squeaky today. Alright, so my Milotic is going to switch into Gengar, and Venusaur is going to protect itself. Alright. Or not, sorry, not protect itself, yeah, it tried to do a Giga Drain, but it failed. Alright. I think, yeah, Vaporeon was the one that protected and Venusaur tried to do a Giga Drain, but it failed. Alright. So, Ludicolo was able to knock out Venusaur via Ice Beam. And here comes Tyranitar with the Sandstorm. And I'm gonna guess that there's probably a Dragon Dance on that. Because usually Tyranitars carry Dragon Dance. Oh. Oh, alright, so there's the Rock Slide. It's gonna prove fatal here. Alright. And the Will-O-Wisp has burned Vaporeon. Alright. Let's see. Who is going to get in the ring? Here comes Metagross. Now I'm going to guess that Tyranitar is going to do an Earthquake, and Gengar is probably going to do a Shadow Ball. Alright. I assume that both Tyranitar and Gengar are going to gang up on Metagross, or at least Gengar is going to go up against Metagross. There we go. Alright, so Metagross is going to go directly for the Toxic, which is going to poison the Milotic. There's a Sandstorm. Sandstorm is going to hit everybody but Metagross. It seems like almost like everyone, for the exception of Gengar in this match, has a status ailment. Alright, so let's see. I think my low tick is probably going to... Could it have HP Electric on it? Possibly? I don't know. French Bliss? Alright. That's an interesting way how to get people to travel to France. Just advertise French Bliss. You'll be bliss in France. Alright, so Sandstorm is going to hit everybody for the exception of Metagross. Which Metagross is going to suffer with the burn. I mean, minus 50% attack. Alright. So my low tick could go for probably a Surf. Maybe not. Alright, there's the Metagross. I see an incoming Earthquake here. And Blissey has chimed the heal bell. Exploits has a cleric. And the cleric's name is Blissey. Blissey can either learn Aromathy or Heal Bell. Some people prefer Heal Bell and some people prefer Aromathy. Both Aromathy and Heal Bell do the exact same thing. Alright, so Metagross is probably going to do a Thunder Punch, aiming directly for Vaporeon. Alright, so Gengar is going to do a Protect. There must be something interesting about this. Alright. Blue Breath is right now suffering with time. Alright. So Blue Breath is going to switch into my low tick, while Metagross is going to go directly for the Meteor Mash at Metagross, which in turn, Blue Breath is going to get that attack stat risen up by +1, and Exploits is going to get an attack stat rise by +1 as well. If I had to guess, this my low tick probably is equipped with Toxic on it. And Metagross is probably going to do a Thunder Punch. And what is Exploits going to do with his amount of time? Alright, so Metagross, my low tick's going to switch into Gengar. The Meteor Mash is not very effective, but it still hits quite hard. Alright. Both Metagross and Gengar avoid Mighty Water entirely. Alright. So far, Blue Breath is kind of making a comeback, but not really. Blue Breath still has another fight. He's fighting with Exploits right now, but he has another fight. He has to fight against the timer. Can Blue Breath successfully fight the timer and fight Exploits in the same breath? We don't know. So far, Blue Breath is kind of succeeding with the timer. Alright. 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Alright, Gengar is going to do a Protect. And what's Metagross going to do? Alright, Typhlosion is going to go directly for the Eruption, which is going to be super effective, and it's going to prove fatal for Blue Breath, and it's going to also prove fatal for... oh, no, wait. I guess it didn't prove fatal for... I thought Eruption... I guess that's later generations. I thought Eruption was supposed to hit everybody. Like I said, I think that's later generations. Alright, so... I didn't know Typhlosion's made such a good doubles Pokemon. Alright, so... Tyranitar could do an Earthquake here because both Metagross and Typhlosion have sort of a fear of ground moves, and I'm going to assume that Tyranitar is going to do an Earthquake, and Gengar could just do a Shadow Ball at either Tyranitar or Metagross. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be aimed towards Metagross. Alright. Typhlosion is going to switch out. I kind of knew that would happen. And Salamence is the last Pokemon. And it intimidates both Tyranitar and Gengar, respectively. Alright, so as this match is getting tighter, you notice that it's starting to get a little bit more intricate. Alright, so the attack stat has lowered down. Alright. The Sandstorm is still at it, and it's etching down HP off of each Pokemon. No, not too major. My Milotic is suffering with poison at the moment. My Milotic could just do an Ice Beam directed at Salamence, which is why Salamence is switching into Blissey. Alright, so Salamence is going to do Protect, and my Milotic is going to try to do an Icy Wind, which is going to lower down the speed of Metagross. Oh, no, wait! No! Because of the Clear Body, it won't lower down the speed. Sorry about that. Wrong narration. I'm not perfect. Metagross does not lower down in stats at all. You can't lower down its attack, defense, or whatever because of its ability called Clear Body. So, yeah. The burn is still there. It's still kind of hurting Metagross gradually. I'm going to guess that there's probably going to be a Dragon Claw aimed towards Blissey, because at this point there's nothing really to lose here. I mean, if Blissey switches... Well, so far Blissey... I think Blue Breath is assuming that Blissey could just do an Ice Beam. Alright, there's a Thunderbolt. Alright, so... I think Typhlosion should go directly for an Earthquake. And if my Milotic has Protect, do it now. Or just switch into Salamence before you do an Earthquake. Alright. There's the Rock Slide, which is going to be a critical hit. Just barely going to touch Metagross, but my Milotic makes that up with the Hydro Pump, which did indeed prove fatal for Metagross. Alright, so my Milotic I'm going to assume is going to be out. Alright. I mean, yeah. Well, my low tick is going to be out for that turn. So Exploits has two options left. He can either pull in Salamence, which I think is a likelihood, since Salamence is going to intimidate the attack stat, or he can pull off a Typhlosion, which I don't think would be plausible in this point. Or sorry, in this point in the game. I think Salamence is the likely choice here. And as for Blue Breath, I think he's going to go more for a Gengar, because he's probably assuming that Blissey is going to try to do an Ice Beam right off the bat. So I think Blue Breath wants to be safe, which is why I think he's going to pull off a Gengar, and he's not going to show off his Salamence too quickly. So, alright, Exploits wanted to show off his Tyranitar, and Blue Breath wanted to show off his Salamence. I guess completely opposite of what I've been saying, but okay. Now, there's a problem. Well, I guess a problem for both Exploits and Blue Breath respectively. The safest option would have been for Blue Breath to go into Gengar, and the safest option for Exploits was to go into Salamence with the Intimidate, and then Tyranitar would have been -1 attack. I'll tell you why this is a problem, because for Blue Breath, you know, he's going for something. Yeah, he's kind of taking a gamble on it. He's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna pull in the Salamence in hopes that Blissey doesn't do an Ice Beam here. And what happens if Blue Breath would have done an Earthquake right there? I mean, that could have killed Typhlosion or Rock Slide, which is why I suggested for Exploits to go into Salamence instead of Typhlosion, because he would have had that Intimidate right off the bat. There you go, there's the Rock Slide, which almost proved fatal. So there we go. So Blissey's now going to issue an Ice Beam, which is why I suggested for Gengar to pop in first on Blue Breath's side. Alright, so Blissey's going to faint here. I mean, if Gengar would have popped in instead of if Gengar would have popped in for Blue Breath instead of Salamence, then that's the Blue Breath would have had better standing. Alright. So Exploits has defeated Blue Breath. Congratulations, Exploits. And with that being said, oh yeah, and before I sign off, I want to just say this, that, and I think I mentioned this before the match, but just in case I didn't, Stardier has given me a GUI that I plan on not using, so I've decided to dump it out to the public. So if you want a Kingdra theme that wasn't useful to me but maybe very useful to you, then they'll provide a link of the Kingdra GUI in the description below. Like I said, it's an unused Kingdra GUI, so you'll probably be enjoying it a lot more than I am. Alright. Anyways, this is the Roy Rogers Shield. Don't forget to comment or subscribe to my channel, like or dislike the content that you see here. And this is the Roy Rogers Shield signing off. Fast, accurate, unbiased, Roy Rogers News.